Hey Elevator, and welcome back to this yoga practice where we'll be teaching you how to bulletproof your knees. Let's real talk. My grandmother and my mom have both replaced their knees, and I don't want to be in line with that. So we are taking proactive steps now so we look like the weirdos in the gym. Let me tell you, all the guys like pumping all this iron and working out on the treadmill. But when we walk in there and we're doing these exercises we're about to show you, they look over at us like, but how's that gonna make your biceps big? But what they're not factoring in is that we're doing longevity work so that the work we do now will actually pay off in ways that are unseen. Sure, we're not working out, I mean, we do work out the biceps, but we're not going for the vanity muscles here. We're actually trying to rebuild and strengthen our body because, let's face it, we use our knees a lot.
Yeah, you know, what's sexy is feeling good. And when you feel good, you project that out. We've all seen the like real muscle bound guy who has this like angry attitude and people kind of run away from him. It's like more scary. But when you feel good in your body, when you know that if I want to go hike tomorrow, if I want to do a pull-up tomorrow, if I want to participate in a sport tomorrow.
Whoa.
All those things can happen.
Leave your pull-ups over there.
I know, it's so true. But as we age, there are really four main things that we want to be looking at. There's four injuries that happen very common. We've got knees, we've got hips, we've got lower back, and we've got shoulders. And so it's really important to start to sprinkle in exercises that can help you bulletproof them. They look very different. You're like, what are these types? What are we even doing here? But it's because we neglect certain muscles in our body. Like Britt said, a lot of the times that we work out, it's more vanity. It's when I think about working out, do I think about how do I want to look? Or I'm thinking, how can I do things that help benefit my body? It's a very different way of thinking about it. And so it's really important that there are a few muscles that we work on. One of the things we're going to work on is the muscle directly next to the knee, the VMO. We're going to start to strengthen that. If you do yoga practice at a class, a lot of times you'll notice that they spend a lot of time stretching. And just as important as the stretching and flexibility aspect is the strengthening. If you don't have strength in an area, if you get it more flexible, you have a higher risk of injury. Same way with you, if you only strengthen something, if you don't do any flexibility work, now you've got a high potential of injury. So you want to be doing both. If you take any classes, like private classes after the yoga class, they'll work on strengthening exercises. It's almost a lot of that. And so we really want to be focusing on that today. So we're going to work on the muscle directly next to the knee, and we'll also be working on the muscle right in front of the shin, right next to the shin. This muscle is something that we all neglect. We know about working our calves, we know what happens when we jump, we know what happens when we move or run, but a lot of times the opposite of that, we just totally neglect. And when you have an imbalance of muscles, when you have one that's really, really strong, and you have one that's extremely weak because you haven't worked it, that imbalance creates, again, potential for injury. And that's why a lot of times you see we have weak knees, we have weak ankles. It's this mobility, it's all connected together. The knee bone's connected to the, so it's always like that. So you have to be looking upstream and downstream. And that's exactly what we're gonna do today.
And funny enough, Chris and I were CrossFit competitors. So we were lifting the heavy weights and we got injured. And what that led us on was a journey to mobility, which then turned into yoga. So we became mobility coaches at the gym. Then we left the gym to start practicing full-time yoga. And that's what led to our yoga teacher training. It was all because we were working out too much strength and not enough flexibility. We were imbalanced. So you see the theme here of this bundle is all about balance. So I highly recommend that you try these exercises, even though they're different, even though they look weird. I can say that Chris drugged me into this program of maybe 2 months, 3 months ago. How long have we been on this one?
You've been doing this for a couple months. I like to be experimenting a little bit longer, and it's been incredible. And I try to share stuff with Britt. Does it work for her too? And then once it works for both of us, I'm like, well, can we share this with the club? And
that's kind of where we're at. He had told me about this knees over toes protocol that has been blowing up for people who have injuries to their knees, tearing their ACLs, never gonna get to play sports again for professional athletes. And Chris was in a really bad motorcycle accident when we first met, and his knee was completely destroyed. So rebuilding that knee has never been full priority, but it's been a part of the journey and the healing process. And I think between the maternal side of my family having janky knees and Chris's motorcycle injury, it brought us to the perfect place in time where we're like, I think now's the time that we're gonna really focus on some of these other muscles and other exercises that will help to create a longevity, especially because as a hairdresser standing for the last almost 20 years, my front tibialis and my shins are a little wrecked from how much working that the calf muscle has to do. So we're gonna create a little bit better balance inside your body today.
All right, for the first exercise, we're gonna be doing what's called Patrick step-ups. And what Britt is going to do is she's gonna stand on one foot, so this is a unilateral exercise, one side at a time. It's especially good if you're trying to strengthen one leg or get them in balance. One foot comes out and she dips down and taps the heel on the ground and then stands back up. And it's that simple. I like to do for this exercise 3 sets of 10, but I like to continuously swap out. So once I've done 10 on one leg, I move to 10 on the next leg and then swap again. So no rest in between, especially if you're doing it like this, where you don't have any weight, you're not doing a more advanced version. This is where I'd start. If you've never done anything like this before, start here. Yes, it looks a little weird, but I'm telling you, it will fire up the muscle directly next to the knee and you will feel the burn coming on this. The next, once you've gotten this version down, you think this is pain-free, I feel good doing this, absolutely good, you're gonna get either a yoga block, or the other thing that I like to do is actually just use a step. It's especially good if you can find something you can hold on to in case balance is not really great for you. And she's just gonna come off, same exact thing. Tap the heel down, stand back up. Tap the heel down. You're reversing a motion right here. So typically we don't do this, we go up stuff, but we hardly ever step down and then come back up. This is a new type of exercise. And so once you get to here, if you got better, you can go up on a higher step, or if you get way advanced, you think, this feels really good, I'm actually pretty strong here. The other thing you can start to do is add weight. You can hold dumbbells in your hands and do the exact same kind of exercise. For me personally, I like to do these with 2 blocks side by side, and that's because I have huge clown feet, and so it's easier for me to stand on them. But you'll notice it's this muscle right here that every time she goes down, that muscle is flexing and flexing and flexing, and it's, yep, boom. See, it gets more challenging. As it starts to lift up, it gets more challenging. Balancing, 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 balancing. So if you can find something to hold on to this entire thing, that's perfectly fine. This is not some sort of exercise where as much weight as possible, as many times as possible. It's just getting those 3 sets of 10 per leg and stopping there.
And then you said you like it sideways like that? Sideways,
so if I put them side by side, I can step on.
It's because you have big feet.
Yeah, clown feet. I got clown feet, so that's good. How do you feel?
Good.
Yeah. All right, so let's get into the next exercise. You're gonna need a wall for this one. Okay, so for this one, we're gonna be doing tibialis raises or tib raises. We're gonna be doing sets of, 1 set of 25, that's all you gotta do on this one. You're gonna put your back flat up against the wall, and you're gonna bring your feet out. The closer your feet are to your body, the easier this will be. The further your feet get away from you, the much more difficult it will be. And so you're gonna stand there and you're going to just raise up onto your heels. Like let your heels stay on the ground and raise your toes up into the air. And then back down, and then toes up, and then back down. 25 reps. I'll tell you the place that I like to do this the most, if no one's in the elevator with you, is the spot. Because you can push your back up against the wall, put your feet out. I'm trying to get these reps in anywhere that I can. So it's not necessarily something that I wake up in the morning and do, but it is something that triggers. So if I'm at a step, I do the other ones. If I'm in an elevator or something with a wall, I sit and do these. Your tibs will get very sore very quickly because all that blood flow will start coming there. So as they get sore, if it gets really hard, start backing up. Let those feet get closer to you and just finish your reps up there. This is one of those exercises that will bring up a lot of new sensations, a lot of new feelings. Just go with them, just relax. If you need to take a pause, that's totally fine. Again, 3 sets of 10 before and then 1 set of 25 on this one. Feel good?
Yeah.
Yeah, boom.
Burning.
Burning.
She burning.
Burning.
All right, we'll catch you later. Peace.
Peace.